Hello and welcome to a little bit of a mod expose on a Anbennar mod that we're going to be using in the next multiplayer campaign that will be hosted over on my Discord and channel. That is going to be starting on the 1st of February. This one is, well, it's an Anbennar mod, but it's an Anbennar mod with a twist. We're going to be using the Anbennar MP Modified 5.0 mod made by Bertus. The mod does quite a lot of things with some pretty radical changes, so I thought I'd make this video to kind of showcase some of those changes. So let's hop in and maybe burst our tensions, because, you know, an old faithful, an old favorite, and we'll be able to show off some of these changes. Now, the mod is still being worked on, and there are certain things that have been broken, but over on my Discord, I've got a bunch of people playtesting nations and showcasing some of the issues that have cropped up for them, and the mod developer is very active in fixing those, so that is great to see. So let's start off with the visible changes, because that's just the easiest one to go off. Visible changes are things like the sea zones. They have changed quite substantially. Now I've got lots of hexes. I'm not sure exactly what this changes as such, why this was changed, but it has been. There's also quite a lot more straight crossings. I'm guessing it's to increase balance in some way. I'm not sure. It's not something I'm personally too fond of, but it is what it is. Secondly, if you can see, obviously there's lots of straight crossings in the middle of the land. And why is that? Well, that is because there are lots and lots of navigable rivers, and I absolutely adore navigable rivers. Things like Ibervar, right? They are an inland nation. However, if we right-click on them, we can see that they've got 11 boats, because there is a navigable river that enters into Ainithil right here, which goes all the way around up here and into the Dame's Head, which is super cool. I'm a big fan of navigable rivers, even though I can't really say it properly. Either way, another thing that's changed is the trade map. Instead of the end node being up here in the north, the Dame's Head trade node, the end node of the world is actually now Anbencost. Another change, I'm not sure if it's going to increase or ruin balance. I guess we'll find out. Hopefully it's going to be the former of those two. There are probably other trade region reworks as well, but I don't really know. It's not something I pay too much attention to, so there's probably more. I just haven't found them yet. Staying on the trade area for a moment, if we hop over to trade goods, you can see that there are some new ones. Things like beekeeping, giving local defensiveness, amber giving local development cost. We have lumber giving a huge 20% construction cost, which is awesome. We have here brass giving monthly devastation. We have maple syrup for the Canadians to try and get a monopoly on, giving trade power. Silver here doesn't give a modifier. I think it acts a bit like gold. There's also beer as well, giving some land force limit. So just a bunch of new ones. Cheese, naturally, makes people easier to convert. That is, I mean, it's pretty accurate, to be honest. Like, who's not going to want to join your culture if you just feed them a bunch of cheddar? Makes sense to me. But let's go and look at some of the more intensive changes. And of course, as we are playing as Bertus, we know that we are a hybrid culture country. We have the Sun Elves and we have the humans. And so if we look into our estates menu, we can see that we have humans here and we have elves here, which is super cool. Having both of these cultures, instead of being, you know, hidden away in a racial menu that looks like this, which is, you know, this racial menu is cool, but it's kind of clunky. Whereas, you know, if I want to interact with these cultures, maybe having them in the estates menu is better. Say with the humans, maybe I don't like them that much and I want to ban interracial marriages, which is awesome. Will prevent marriages between humans and elves and orcs, which will, prevent us from getting half-elves, potentially. Kind of cool. With the elves, maybe, we want to increase Suriel's level, which is this authority here, ban interracial marriages, all of that kind of stuff. That's cool, right? Having different cultures in here, but also we can decide to, instead of having a purely human or purely elven army, we can have a hybrid. So at the moment, let's just click this button to update it. At the moment, we have 30% of our army, or our military, sorry, is elven, and 70% of our army is human. So we get 70% of the basic human bonus, which is 5% morale of armies, 5% morale of navies. And we get 30% of the standard elven bonus. Things like what would be 20% discipline if it was at 100%, and 50% negative manpower recovery speed. And you can change these. If I conquer more elven provinces, the amount of elves in my military will go up. This is an amazing system. This is so infinitely cool that it's just hard to comprehend how this has been dreamed up. I love it. I absolutely love it. Furthermore, with the military, we have some new unit types. So things like the Battlemages are now its own unit built like any other kind of special unit. We also have National Elite Infantry and Cavalry, and probably Cannons too later on. And let's build one of those, and we're going to speed up the game just so those are built and we can see what we can do with them, because I think we can only interact with them after they have been built. So we have these extra unit types, extra, armies and militaries made up of a bunch of different cool things. That's awesome. But what else, right? We've got the Adventurers and the Mages. We no longer have the Burghers. And I think that's the same all over the world. I haven't yet seen anyone that has the Burghers estate. So no more free, low-cost loans, which is a bit insane, not gonna lie. But, we can make do. So if you have a look into the Mages one, things like Mage Education. What this does is, if you've got a really bad heir, which, Bursartan is not great, we can have the mages educate him. And after 5 years, the heir will get +1 in an admin or dip or mill if his character category is lower than 3. That's awesome. And I believe also the elves can also educate my heir. Elven education here, but their influence needs to be a bit greater. So, maybe give them some influence from something else. Other things, just randomly and small. Monopolies are now 1.3 times instead of the 0.8 of vanilla, so it's probably worth actually clicking these buttons like on cooldown. They're just good. I don't know why he made them so good, but they are. Deal with it, I guess. Have these been built yet? No, we're still in November. The game does run a little bit worse, unfortunately. Maybe it's because I can see everywhere. But also, you just saw there, we have lack of iron, lack of horses, and that is another thing that I wanted to pop up so that we can show you. Lack of iron. Infantry cost plus 10%, because we don't have enough iron provinces. Unfortunately, this is still a very much work-in-progress system that isn't working at its true maximum potential. So what we're going to be doing in the multiplayer, at least, is disabling it. And we can disable it through this decision here, Get the Gauntlet. In here, you've got a bunch of different options. Things like, maybe I don't want the game to lag quite so much, so how about everywhere in the world other than Canor can just be deleted? Or, the dwarves, they suck. So the serpent spine, all of the serpent spine can be snapped. And Thanos-like, they're all gone. No more serpent spine stuff. And you can do this for basically everything but Canor, or you can do individual continents. Just, if you want to have a self-contained small multiplayer in just Canor, you're not going to need Hales, so just get rid of it. Hales can, just snapped, and it's gone. And it's cool that this system exists. Like, we're not going to be using it most likely in the multiplayer, but it's cool that it's there, and it's cool that it's an actual option for you. What we will be doing, though, is going into the configuration menu and deactivating the trade goods system. So trade goods, it's an interesting system, and I wish it was working well because I would love to use it, but it's not really working super well. So we have food, and we have iron, and we have horses. If you don't have enough food, you get a penalty to your morale. If you don't have enough iron, you get a penalty to your infantry cost, and if you have the lack of horses, the same for your cavalry cost. There's more later on as well. And you can purchase, food, iron, horses through this menu, the trade goods menu, and it will just take money out of your account every January 1st, which can end up with you having a positive income, having a positive treasury, and then just taking loans randomly, and it's a little bit awkward, so we're going to be deactivating that. Other things in here, this is where you activate or deactivate Great Conquerors, and it's also where you can activate the power calculator, which I think is awesome. I'm not sure if it's working 100%. There may be some issues with it, but what it does do is if you hover over here, it will show you the power of your nation and all the different modifiers that you have on it. And this will be, activated for every country. So say if we wanted to tag over to Laurent, we can see that their power is not shown, probably because they need to have that done. And is it showing now? No. Oh, there it is. Yes. So they have that much power. Unfortunately, like I said, it's not working exactly amazingly because it's showing them having 0 power, but it might be just that they haven't got the recruitment done in a bunch of their people. I mean, they've got a lot of different types of people here. Things like that, right? So that's cool. We'll probably be turning that on when you unpause the game and play for a while. It does sort itself out in its own time. So it's cool. Right. Let's go back to Bertus. And we'll see about... Yeah, just snap that again. Why not? Bye-bye. Go away. Go away. Go away. These 2 units still being created. So, what are the other things in this here? So we have First Chair, Diplomatic Chairman, Military Chairman, Coin Chairman, and Naval Chairman. If you have a multicultural empire with lots of different people in it, a lot of different races, you'll have more options here. But for us, we generally just have one. So this is basically your council, if you will, from Crusader Kings, where you can choose to have various bonuses. So we have only got the option of the Elven First Hand here, which will give us a court person, which will give you some really cool, development cost minus 10%. He's half price. He's beautiful. He's glorious. So we'll just grab him. The Diplomatic Chairman, obviously, again, we only have the elf, so it'll give you those bonuses. The Military Chairman will give you those bonuses, etc., etc. At the start of the game, everyone generally just has one option, and you just click through and take all of what you can get. Let me see if I go back over to Laurent, see if they have more options. So, yeah, they can choose between humans, elves, and half-elves. You can see that they each have their own bonuses. And especially with the Military Chairman, you really might want to choose carefully on these. Some of these might help you more than others. Some of these might be like, oh, it will really help in this specific situation. So you might want to change it before you go to war with a certain country. I'm really liking that half-elven tactics, though. Plus 10% is pretty fire, I'm not going to lie. Although elves plus 20% is even fierier. I like it. I like it. So yeah, we'll you add those at the start of every game. Go back to Berserk Tensions. I want to get these built so I can show you what they do. Obviously, ignore all of the things popping up about the shadow on the sun. We've seen all that already. And we'll get these out. There's all the modifiers expiring, some merc companies, whatever. Alright, they have now been built. We have our Battlemages, which gives plus 20% shock damage, and we have the National Elite Regiment, which doesn't actually have any bonuses right now. But if we go into the Estates menu again, and into the Battlemages, we can try and get some Battle Mage Academies. We need 30 influence. How are we going to do that? We need to get an extra 10%, so we'll just do some Mage Education, get to 30, now we can do Battle Mage Academies. Usually in our multiplayers we have this banned. It will not be banned in this multiplayer because it does something really cool, and that is, I think I need to refresh this. Yes. You can spec your battle mages. Your battle mages are, of course, you know, individual units, as I said already, but in this version of Anbennar, in this mod, your battle mages also can spec into a various school of magic. So the air magic school gives extra shock damage, the earth magic school gives extra negative shock damage received, the water magic gives fire damage received, and the fire magic gives land fire damage. That's super freaking so cool. It's so cool. Air magic, I think, is definitely going to be worth it, though. Also, instead of, you know, everyone randomly getting their own Mage General with a gigaton of, you know, shock pips, just, you know, you're going to war with somebody and they have a Mage General. Okay, I might as well have lost that. Well, now everyone gets the ability to just get themselves a Mage General through Recruit Magisterium General. And it's flavored differently for other countries, like, say, you know, Ascare, who doesn't know of the Magisterium, but in essence, you will get this as well, which will just give you a really, really good general. However, it does cost quite a lot. For starters, the loyalty equilibrium of the mages goes down by 40 and to 20 instantly. So you will be making your mage estate disloyal. And considering the benefits you get for them being loyal, or things like the all power costs, this can really hurt. So if I take that, all power costs plus 7.5%. However, I get myself a sick general. So it could be worth it in a pinch. If you need a general, this could be how you get it. As well, to prevent the, you know, everyone having a big problem with not getting good generals in another way, you can go through the adventurers and get yourself a conquistador with 40 tradition. It does cost you 100 power, but you can just get, you know, a relatively decent general called Caladora, whatever. So yeah, that is the biggest change I think that this mod adds, is the difference that comes with the estates. We don't have the ability to get cheap loans. However, we get something I think that is far, far cooler in especially this military system. I love it. I think you guys are going to love it as well. It's going to be cool. But that's not all. Of course, there's always something else. In the ideas, things have been changed quite significantly. As you can see, we start off with an idea, but we did also in the idea variation mod. But we also get an idea at level 4 and level 5, 7 and 8 and 10. So we're getting ideas thick and fast. And to compensate, these ideas are a little bit cheaper at 200-ish. Of course, we have the all power costs there. So it's 200-ish power to unlock ideas. And even cooler, I think, is, say we have power points. Say we have the power points and we unlock all of these. Well, if we then unlock some, what are they called? Policies. Every single idea group, doesn't matter which one, comes with 3 policies. You do not need 2 idea groups to merge together to give you specific things, right? Economic Ideas has 3 policies. If we have a look into the many idea groups here, every single one of them gives you 3 policies. It says there plus diplomatic. Diplomatic does not exist in this mod pack, purely because of the EU4 code requiring it, but you can just ignore it. So, say we wanted to, we got quality, we then have those 3 ideas. Say we wanted assimilation. Assimilation has those 3 ideas. And all you need is those ideas. So as soon as you finish your first idea group, well, there you go. You now have 3 policies turned on. I really like that system. I think it's actually kind of fire. A really, really cool system. Yeah, that's it. That's, I think, everything that I want to show off. The final, I guess, thing to say is that because of the changes to certain ideas, if we go back to the ideas menu again, because of the changes to certain ideas, things like exploration doesn't exist in the game. Instead, there is, I think, something called colonial empire or something like that. Because of that, certain countries that may, say, have a mission that requires you to take colonialism and then get this certain idea may be broken. And that's something that is going to be fixed, right? The mod developer Bertus is active in my Discord, seeing the people reporting these certain issues, and a lot of them have already been fixed. Like I say, one of the first missions for Vinail is to get colonialism. I forget what Vinail's tag is, so if we just tag over to tag A21, their first mission is prepare the fleet. They need exploration ideas and colonial adventure ideas. Exploration ideas don't exist, so they are going to be fixed before the multiplayer starts if somebody selects them. At the moment, if you wanted to play, you can just skip this mission by doing mission 21 _ prepare the fleet, blah blah blah, whatever. All right, that's the way you would get through that. You can see that in the debug mode, A21 prepare the fleet, and you can skip it. It's a workaround. But if you do come across these issues and you are in my Discord, please do report them. They are being tracked and tagged and fixed as they are found. And that's it. That's it. I will attempt to get people's seeding for the 1st of February multiplayer out to them early, even though I hate early seeding because pre-game Diplo is cancerous. But I will attempt to get it out early so that people can test their nations to see if there are any broken things that need fixing. Purely because, we don't want to get into the multiplayer and have things broken and, people will get salty about that. I would get salty about that. But anyway, that's it. I hope you guys enjoy this mod. Please go play it. Please go test it. Please go and figure out all of the broken things so that we can have them fixed for the multiplayer start. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much to Bertus for creating this mod, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.